It's 97.9 The Beat, DFW's hip-hop station and home of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. We're speaking with Kitti Jones. You recently had the article in the Rolling Stones magazine about R. Kelly. And so first of all, before we get into that, I'm going to apologize to you for everything that I said out of not meaning to be mean, but trying to be funny, about, R. Kelly sent Kitti home. Kitti left her job to be with R. Kelly. Just kind of talking about it and not talking to you about it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I need to apologize to your family for causing them, pain and frustration. It's bad enough that you're there and they're not sure what's going on, but for it to be trivial and joked about is even worse. So I do want to apologize to your family and to you first and foremost. But let's rewind.
I accept your apology.
Thank you. Because we hung out. We did. You know what I'm saying? We hung out. We went places together. Well, hell, when you met R. Kelly at that after party, I was there. Now, I was drunk. And probably a little mad he wasn't looking at me.
You escaped that one.
Yeah, I did. Didn't I? Thank you, Jesus. I remember R. Kelly courting you. How did that happen?
While I was still working
While you were still working here. You met him at the party in Fort Worth. And yeah. What happened?
I did go in for a photo with him, which is the photo you saw in Rolling Stone. And then when we, went to shake hands, well, he insisted that we shake hands. That's when he slipped the phone number. And I explained that in the article as well. And then I just got
write the phone number down. Did he just have a phone number
I think
on
it was
deck?
Pre-made because over the years, there are things that I saw. Yeah.
So
it was already.
He writes down his number.
Because he anticipates he's going to pass it. Yeah.
Is it his handwriting, or do you think somebody
Absolutely
else
not. I don't think so.
So there's somebody writing these little notes for R. Kelly to hand out when he's going out. It seems like.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't want to, take his phone out and look like he's getting a phone number. He's really private, so.
Okay. So after you got the note, then it was like, how long ago before y'all talked after that?
We talked the same night, and then as far as seeing each other, it was about 2 months, 6 weeks.
And I also remember you saying that he told you not to talk about it to your coworkers.
Yeah, because he didn't want it to look bad on me as far as being professional. And, people always made him into like a joke, an ongoing joke. You know what I mean? So he didn't want me to be affected by that.
Because what would be the ongoing joke about R. Kelly?
Well,
Pied Piper.
When I met him, I was, like anybody that you might hear any previous rumors about, you get to know that person on your own, and then you form your own opinion of them. So I was very defensive. Of course, once you fall in love with somebody and then you start hearing people joke, it's not funny to you. Did I laugh before? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, when I got to learn more about who the man was, I was like, this isn't funny to me. Like when people would say, are you going to get, urinated on the Chicago
Golden showers?
Yeah, it was like fake pages that were being made around that time, and people would say these, nasty things to me because they heard this or heard that. It was hurtful because I was like, if they knew exactly, the person that he was, this isn't true about him,
Who is he?
He's damaged.
We'll be right back with Kitti and talk about how damaged R. Kelly is. It's 97.9 The Beat, DFW's hip-hop station and home of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Kitti Jones just recently did an article in Rolling Stone magazine about R. Kelly. And earlier we were discussing how you feel like he is damaged. And he spoke about that, too, being abused as a child in his book.
I didn't read the book, but I just know, in our private conversations, it was a lot of abuse, both sexes. Those are things that he confided in, with me. And we've had a lot of deep conversations about, just people in his personal life, over time betraying him and stuff like that. So that was kind of working on my
psyche.
Yeah, it really
you
was.
wanted to protect him.
Yeah, I did.
When did the first situation happen where you got nervous and said, this is not what I signed up for?
I remember visiting for Thanksgiving, and I remember a friend of mine asking me if I ever saw the sex tape. And, of course, by that time, I'm just I'm in love with him. I don't want anybody to bring up anything negative. I had given up all these things.
You heard about the sex tape before?
Yeah,
you even
I
started
was on the
dating him?
radio, during that time when it was announced that he was acquitted. I remember the BET interview, but I always stay neutral. You report the news, you try to be neutral as well, Vita, like when it comes to certain things. Even like with the Nelly stuff that came out recently, you don't want to say, "Oh, I believe this" or "I don't." You just report it and let the people do the talking, right?
Right.
That's how I was with the R. Kelly stuff. I wasn't like, "Girl, did you see?" And then if it was someone, I didn't want to watch it. I saw images of a person doing something, but I never watched the tape. So this particular trip home,
A friend asked
a
you.
friend asked me if I had ever seen it, and I was furious with her for even bringing that up.
Do you think she did that out of some a spite?
Yeah, that's how I felt because I was happy at the time and I was visiting and all these things were going on. And I remember Googling it. I remember going to images. I remember seeing a face. And the reason I got really upset is because while I was in Chicago the first 3 weeks, he plays basketball a lot at night. And I remember he would clear out the bench and just have me sit by myself and have everyone else like be on the other end. I have photos of that, by the way. But yeah, like if he would go to a park to play basketball, he would clear it out so I can have that bench by myself. Like the whole, not just one bench, like the whole thing.
Side of the court.
Right.
What was that about?
He just didn't want people sitting next to me or guys getting an opportunity to talk to me while he was on the court. So this particular time, a girl came and sat next to me, and I noticed she was like cheering for him a lot. And I was like, wow, But fast forward to that incident where the girl's sitting next to me. Well, when I saw the images on Google, it looked exactly like the girl that was sitting next to me the week before that he had introduced me to. And
the young lady that's allegedly in that videotape.
They looked very similar.
Right.
So I kept thinking, wait a minute, he introduced me to somebody that looks exactly like this person that I'm looking at right now. And I just became furious. I hit play on the video. Like in my mind, I started thinking, this can't be the same person that I'm looking at that's in this video that looks just like the girl that I saw last week. A lot of things were going through my mind, like, okay, here it is, 2011. This tape came out in 2002. That's 9 years ago. I'm doing the math, and I'm thinking, she's still around. And then I'm thinking, what role does she play in his life? Did he do this to her? Like, all these things are going through my mind, and I'm crying. I'm furious. So that's when I called him, and he demanded that I get back to Chicago immediately because I'm listening to other, he's using a lot of language or whatever, expletives, and demanding that I get back on the flight the next day.
Why was you had came back to do what?
It was Thanksgiving week, just to hang out with my family.
So you would travel back and forth with
early
him.
on. It was the first 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when I got back, that was the first
time he beat you.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with Kitti on 97.9 The Beat. It's 97.9 The Beat, DFW's hip-hop station and home of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Kitti Jones is here with me now talking about her article with the Rolling Stones magazine and her time she spent with R. Kelly. Now, we were just discussing the first time he ever hit you. Now, after that, did they come more frequently?
Yeah, like I would say around the spring of 2012. Yeah, that's when it got really bad. He doesn't like for you to draw attention to yourself. He doesn't want the attention to be off of him. I mean, I had to like turn my chair like towards him if we were all having dinner with other celebrities. I remember laughing. I don't want to name the celebrity, but I remember laughing at a joke. This is before I knew better. And he would slap me, not in front of them, but behind closed doors. If I would forget to stand up, when he would walk in the room, things like that.
You would get physically...
Yeah. He'll clear the room and then,
And so these people that are on his team there watching this, what is their expressions? What do they ever speak to you or
they're numb.
Comfort you?
No, they wouldn't dare. I was describing this, I think, as well in Rolling Stone. I remember visiting and waiting on him in his studio, and there's like these two stairs you have to kind of walk up while you're. It's like a sunken room, and then you have like these two steps to go up to the other level of the room to sit on the couches.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember stumbling over that, and I literally almost fell with my bags. And the guys were just sitting stiff, like, tunnel vision. They were still typing. It wasn't, "Are you okay? You're going to kill yourself up there," nothing. They just knew not to turn around and talk to me. And then when he came in the studio, he peeped his head in and said, "Babe, come here." And so when I walked out, he said, "They talked to you?" And then I said, "No." And he was like, "So on your way here, did the guy say anything to you? Did you say anything to him? Okay, so the next time you come, don't wear stuff like that. I got to train you. I got to teach you how to be with daddy," and things like that, trying to make sure I knew, like, not to wear fitting clothes. Don't talk to the guys, not even a hello. And they knew, if you've been working with this person for 10 years or more, you knew that would infuriate him if, you spoke to one of his girlfriends.
Did you sometimes blame them? Like, why didn't y'all help me?
There was one runner. I think I turned over those text messages as well. He just looked disgusted. He knew that I was confined to a specific room, and he would knock on the door and hand me my food and leave. I would send him a list of things that I needed, your personal items as a woman. He would go and get those things, and he'll knock on the door, and he would know when I was starving. He knew because he wasn't allowed to respond back to me if I was on punishment, so to speak. Yeah, so he would feel really bad.
Would inform everyone.
Don't respond back. Yeah.
Until he puts out the word.
Yeah, you can go take her order from 2 days ago, type of thing.
And when this was happening, now LaToya's here. You would text LaToya. Mm-hmm. Now, and that's to me, that's very desperate because LaToya is here in Texas. How is she to get you food? Have you ever gotten her food during these texts? Mm-hmm. How did you do that, Toya?
I mean, when you order a pizza,
you would just order a pizza from here. Tell about it.
Well, it's one of those where she'll send me a text and say, "Hey, basically what's in the Rolling Stone, can you send me a pizza because he's not here? He won't be here until such and such time." So she'll give me the address as to where she's located. I'll go online. She'll let me know what pizza place is near. I'll go online, order the pizza, and have it delivered to her.
And at that time, I wasn't upfront about what was happening to me.
What was she telling you?
Lies.
Like what? Because here she is out here with R. Kelly, and here you are at home, doing your thing, providing for your family. So did you have this thing like, hey, why I gotta buy you pizza? And you out there with R. Kelly?
I would make her think he wasn't there, or I didn't have my phone. I mean, my card or money on me, and I'm like, oh, he's at the gym.
Did you believe her?
Not all the time. No. But I knew. I mean, we've been friends for a long time. So, in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to let my friend starve. So I'll just,
But would you ever talk to her about what your feelings were?
Oh, she knew. Yeah, we had those discussions.
Coming up next, we'll find out the question that everybody wants to know. Why didn't Kitti leave? It's 97.9 The Beat, DFW's hip-hop station and home of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. We're talking to Kitti, who recently did an interview with the Rolling Stone magazine about R. Kelly. And the question that is on everybody's mind is, why didn't you leave? Because you're grown.
Why didn't I just leave? You're embarrassed. You're ashamed. And then the times that I did think, I want to go back home. I was like, what am I going to go back to? What use am I when I walk out of here? I was defining myself by, being this strong person, successful. I was the go-to person for, advice with my friends, when they were in relationships. I was like, I'm being completely embarrassed at the radio station. There were opportunities when he would be in the news, for foreclosure. Oh, Kitty's going to come back with a backpack and homeless. I was getting those text messages in Chicago, and that was hurting me because I was like, they're laughing at me at my old job. They're laughing if I go and explain this to my family. They're going to be disappointed in me. So, of course, you're thinking, and then your boyfriend is, always being made fun of. So you're thinking, I'm in this. I'm stuck. What else is there? Like, it's, you feel like you're you and him against the world type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And
Even when you're getting beat? Well, I'm not even
yeah,
gonna say
I
even when
mean,
you're getting beat, because
I didn't feel like I had an ally. I wasn't brave enough to tell my best friend. I couldn't call an old coworker or feel like I had anybody would embrace me here because people thought it was funny. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I didn't feel like I had anything to come back to. I had family, but like I said, they thought I was happy. I was always looked at as a strong person. And if you keep in mind, like, Tina Turner was getting beat in the 70s. She didn't start telling her story until the 90s. And this is by another famous man. Michelle was getting her ass kicked in the 80s and early 90s. She just told her story to Lifetime a year ago. And I think there needs to be a lifted statute of limitations on filing charges, because sometime, it may be a year or two where you're just ashamed and you don't want to talk about it, and you're depressed and you're suicidal like I was. And then the next year you're angry, you know what I'm saying? And then the next year you're like, I'm going to talk about this, which is the phase that I'm in right now. And now it's like, wait a minute, I might want to go ahead and pursue this now because I'm strong enough.
would you consider the situation you was in as being a cult?
I can see why people would think that, because it's very controlled.
LaToya's shaking her head yes.
But I didn't meet them right away. So when all these things started playing back in my head, I got to train you. I got to teach you how to be with me. I want to introduce you to the other girls. They're close friends of mine. I raised this girl. Yeah, when you step away from it, you're like, wow, we were all dressed alike. I'm sitting there looking to the left and my right, and we all have on, the jogging suits, from Pink at the Victoria. You know what I mean? Like we're, it's hard looking at old photos. I was able to find a couple of old pictures of me and dressed like that. You know what I mean? And then I noticed, even recently, people that he's trying to act like this is who he's with. I've seen them in the same outfits. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Snapchatting and yeah, and I'm like, wow, he used to make us wear those. You know what I mean? So, I don't know who came up with the word cult, but I guess if it fits that description, and that's what it was.
I think it came out more so when the family of the young lady right now that actually contacted you, because this is really why you decided to tell your story. Am I right? Because
absolutely,
the family.
Yeah, they contacted me in December. Now I'm living a quiet life.
Hold that thought, Kitti. We'll be right back, and we'll find out how you did escape R. Kelly. It's 97.9 The Beat, DFW's hip-hop station and home of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. We're in here with Kitti, who recently did an article with Rolling Stones magazine about what she went through in her relationship with R. Kelly. Now, we want to know, how did you finally leave?
The way that I escaped the situation was I told him, look, I want to take my son school shopping. He's starting high school. He gave me a lump sum. He did check my suitcases. My best friend knows about all this, to make sure I had the sweatpants in there and I wasn't coming to Dallas to party. So I had money then, so I was able to get an apartment when I got here, maybe
With
about
the
a month
money
later.
That he gave you to shop.
Yeah. And he thought I was going to get back on the plane that Saturday to come back, and I never did. So he proceeded to book a show at a club at the time. I don't know if it's even still.
No, it's not still here.
Okay.
Medusa.
And it was November of 2013. So it was about a month after I gotten back. He booked that. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to kill me, because I had never gotten back on the plane the month before. So I'm thinking this is an opportunity, because I left everything. I did come back to Dallas with 2 suitcases. Imagine everything you've built up over the years, your wardrobe, all the stuff you bought. We had toured together. I bought all these things. We're in California. We're in Miami.
With
Nothing. So I'm thinking he had these things on the bus, when he came back.
Why? To give them to you?
Yeah, because we had communicated up a little bit up until, and I'm thinking, oh, he's not mad at me.
What was he saying?
He told me he wasn't mad at me. He loved me. I knew his album was coming out. There were a couple of songs on there that.
For you?
Yes. actually, he retweeted one of the songs the other day.
What was the song?
And I kind of felt like that was a dig at me. I don't even want to plug it, but
Don't.
I think it was letting me know after he put a quote under it that
You still follow him on
Kinda
Twitter?
get
How did
under-
you, how did you
someone
hear
told
that?
me.
Oh, okay.
someone told me.
Okay.
And I mean, it's that fear that he wants.
He's a manipulator.
Right.
He's a
And
manipulator.
I'm not gonna lie. Did I not get scared when I saw that? I did. There is still some fear.
You should be scared. You was being
Right.
starved,
Mm-hmm.
beaten,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, physically, mentally, everything. You was tortured.
Right.
I mean, anytime you can't eat for 3 days, tell me about your third day of not having any food. What's going through your mind?
Well, by then, I mean, that's when I would see him. You know.
And you're in a state of I need you now,
Mhm.
not in
Oh
a
yeah,
mad
you're
state.
apologizing.
You're not even mad anymore.
I mean, you're apologizing, you're crying, you're begging, you're like, "Daddy, what did I do? I'm sorry." And then you're like, go over whatever he's mad at you about, and then you're trying to explain yourself. And I just, looking back on it now, I mean, yeah, he would eat those things up because that made him feel like a king. And even when I was going through those things, he would every now and then maybe check on me or something. But I'm telling you, it did get to the point where, when a door would open, I would be scared. If I heard a door shut, I would be nervous. His voice would scare me.
Does it still scare you?
Yes. He just called me as recent as May. I think it was Memorial weekend. He called me like 3 times in one day.
Did you know it was him calling?
I saw a Chicago number and I was like, nah, this can't be him. And then he texted me. And then I was like, whoa. And then he called real quick and he was whispering. And I was like, why would he be calling me? And I'm telling you, like, it was the scariest. My heart was beating through my chest. I can't even.
And he hasn't had a
describe it.
chance to touch you or anything from when you got on that plane and came here to Dallas. With the school
He
money,
attacked
yeah.
me when I saw him in November when he came, when I thought I was going to get my stuff off the bus. That was the last time.
You saw him.
Right.
And he attacked you?
Right.
Because you initially said you thought what you
We
thought
thought-
he
I
was
thought
gonna
we
have
were
your stuff,
good.
your red bottoms on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. Here goes the stuff that you left in Chicago. But he attacked you
Right.
in front of people.
No one was on
Were
the
y'all on the bus?
Mm-hmm.
You got on the bus.
I did.
Did you honestly feel like maybe I can make it work again?
I did contemplate wanting to go back because I said I left and I'm walking into another hell.
And see, this is what women need to hear, Kitti.
Right.
Because a lot of women, I've been abused, physically, date raped.
Mm-hmm.
You get out, and then a lot of times we go back. We go back.
Yeah.
And then you get beat again. And then you don't tell nobody, and you go back. So I can understand you having emotions in your body saying, yo, I was taken care of. Okay, I didn't eat. I got beat here and there. But it was a life that I knew. It's 97.9 The Beat, DFW's hip-hop station and home of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Kitti Jones. She recently did an article with Rolling Stones magazine entailing her life with R. Kelly, which wasn't all good, but she finally got out. What prompted you to want to tell your story?
If it wasn't for the parents contacting me in December, I don't know. God has his way of making it on his timing.
It always is on.
Maybe he feels like, hey, you're strong enough, and because you are the one that's older than everybody else, that everybody's focused on, oh, she's older. Maybe it was meant for me to be the older one because I'm the strongest to go ahead and blow the lid off of it. I mean, I don't know why I was chosen for it and why people decide to believe me after they've been complaining about him for 25 years. That's fine, but maybe I can handle it. You know what I mean? I remember being on tour with him, and of course I didn't get any punishments during that time because I just remember, I don't know if you remember the tour.
When y'all came, I saw that you said when you came to Dallas, he was like, yeah, let's show these mothers.
Because you guys were talking about me on the radio, and he was furious at you guys at the time.
Right.
So he was like,
and we
your
are
old
apologizing
job.
to Kitti.
Yes.
I am.
Thank you so much, Veda. And I know
again,
it's sincere. I believe
I'm
you.
apologizing to you.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your nonprofit.
Yes, that's in the beginning stages. It's called Stop Protecting Your Abuser. I call it the Spy Project. And I'm partnering up with a couple of people, so that's in the works as well. You know, I just want to say I created it because I felt like me remaining silent as long as I did, it did allow him to recruit, have legs, you know what I'm saying? Like become a little bit more arrogant about the way he moves with people and the things that he does. I mean, he can pay his way out of most things. He can sing his way out of it. If he drops something in his hot today, people forget that I talked about this. Well, that's what's been happening in the past.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That to happen.
So, and that's because people haven't been.
Why do you think like people don't take this man seriously? Like,
I just think it's simple as just not taking Black women serious. I mean, when I came out, people were like, "She's looking for a check." She said on this for 3 years. I'm like, you don't know the hell I dealt with for 3 years, and I'm finally strong enough to talk about it. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there thinking, oh, they're going to attack me. And he knows because he's been getting attacked for 25 years. So if you call him and say, you SOB, he's laughing and he's like, hey, man, light my cigar, make my drink. He doesn't give a damn. But he knows if you've never been in that business and you've never experienced backlash like that, you're scared when you pull up a tweet or someone inboxing you going, you a gold digging ass, B, and just calling you all these names and, that you're a groupie and you're a hoe and all these different names. You're not equipped for that. So he knows you're going to back down. So you might talk about it to a blog or two and then you disappear because he's like, girl, you're not going to be able to put up with this. I'm built for this. So
and he feels like he has you trained.
Oh, absolutely. So imagine somebody that's able to slap you in front of a subway in front of people and no one reacts to it. I'm speaking of myself because he did this. Yes.
A Subway restaurant
we were at a Subway, okay, in downtown Chicago, and he slapped me in front of people. So if you can get away with that, why wouldn't I think if I went home you wouldn't show up and do something to me? Like that's the fear. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just think that backlash that you're going to get from other Black women, especially saying, oh, she's just trying to get a check, or he didn't claim her, or, all these just side things that have nothing to do with the torture that you actually went through. And you're like, oh, my God, you spent more time defending, what you meant to that person to other people, or whether you're not trying to get a check from it, or, oh, she's too old, or that's not his type, or she's not light skin, or she's not dark skin, or we don't believe, if
you heard all of that.
It's like, oh my God, like people are missing the point. Like you're focused on whether I'm trying to get some fame. Like I could give a damn about people knowing who I am. I'm just trying to shed some light on what happened to me. There are people that are still there that probably really just don't want to be there, but because they're ashamed like I was, they're still there and they don't want to go back to their families because of the stuff that's being said. Exactly.
If you had a chance right now and they said, okay, we're going to prosecute Robert, would you want him to see some jail time? Kitti does answer this question, and you can find the answer online at thebeatdfw.com.